Hey y'all, I'm Cindy Nelson.
And I'm Noel.
And this is Help. I'm an entrepreneur, a podcast for those who have taken on the challenge of entrepreneurship and who love tips and advice from successful entrepreneurs who have overcome tricky obstacles along the way. Today, as we continue our series, Noel Trevino joins us. He is a fitness and nutrition coach who helps transform his clients into competitive athletes, fit moms, and everything in between, leading to healthier lifestyles and achieving their goals. Okay, Noel, it's time for my favorite segment, tea time. Now, as luck would have it, I don't actually have any tea for us to drink. Actually, I brought you coffee. However, that is not the kind of tea we'll be having today, but I love tea time. Noel, this is the time to air out a story you haven't told, specifically a tough time you've had with your business that really put you in a bind, and it was someone else's doing where you thought to yourself, does this happen to everyone? Is this normal? I think something's really wrong here. Now, we don't use real names, no company names, as much as I'd like pure justice over the airwaves. So, Noel, what's your tea?
Okay. Well, then I have a story.
Okay, go for it.
The last straw, we'll call it that. The tea time, the last straw. The last straw that kind of pushed me out, too, before the pandemic started. You know, I like to be really respectful. Like, you know, I am someone that can hold my ground, and I'm not going to get into something if like a business or any kind of event if I'm going to look dumb, you know, but I'm also very respectful. There are, I would say a few trainers, but there was this one trainer, man, I guess me being a power lifter, I labeled myself as a power lifter, and him being in the game more years than me, he just thought that he was the person that people should be going to. Always putting a damper on my clients, throwing jabs, just saying stuff like being really arrogant, saying we had bad form, or always has a little something to say. Well, there was a buddy of mine, and he had a stroke, and he's very hard to move, and I'm helping him. And, you know, the gym is for all of us to use. So I take a certain object so that he could sit on, and he's working out, and we're using this seat to sit on. Well, the trainer comes over and just blows up. Comes over, takes the chair from a buddy, throws some stuff, and makes a big scene, like starts yelling. In my mind, he had done that 2 times before. Like, gosh, like I don't know why he thinks that he can just kind of do this stuff and act like a overgrown child. Yeah, very disrespectful. So I walked up to him. He looks at me, gets right into my face, and pushes me. Yeah, and so I have a boxing background, and I was like, okay, if
I got this.
Yeah, if this guy got me, I'm just gonna, you know, protect myself. I know if I
got self-defense covered.
Yeah, if he does anything, I know I can probably hit him hard enough where it'll daze him. You know, the last straw was he got in my face, he grabbed me by the throat. He's a big, strong guy. Yeah. Very strong. And I'm just gonna say this, and I know that the dude wasn't natural. So very strong, 350-pound guy grabs me by the neck, and in my mind, my self-defense comes in. I grab his hand. I'm like, I'm not gonna pass out. Like, I grew up in rougher neighborhoods than this, you know? Like, I know how to protect myself. So I stay as calm as possible. He has me by the neck, and everyone starts to come over to break us up. But rewind a little bit. I swung at him and missed. I started rolling because I had some boxing background, and he kept missing me. Well, he threw his body on top of me, grabbed me, got me by the neck, and kind of held me right there. And when it was all said and done, we met with the owner. The owner said, we're family here. And I was like, we are far from family at this place. Everyone's for themselves. We have yet to have a meeting in all the 3 years that I've been here, or 5, how many years it was. I tell you my concerns, there's nothing ever done about it. So during that time, I was just like, look, it's time to go. And then soon after that, COVID happened. So it was kind of a last straw type deal. Like, man, I can't believe this is happening. My clients are watching me, and I had clients at the time too. So it was with being in a place where I almost felt like I couldn't leave because I didn't have money to get started. And so that was the last straw. It pushed me out. Well, I had nowhere to train. And then COVID happened, and I was like, I really don't have anywhere to train. So I went outside, and then eventually I got to a place. I'm like, our friend Ashley, I said, Ashley, hey, we need to find a building. Can you help us, please? And then we found this place over here off Sylvania. So it was really fortunate that COVID happened because it kind of, now you have to leave. But the reason I didn't leave is because we didn't have $30,000, $50,000 to start, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess I was in a little bind. It was kind of scary. And man, I'm just so thankful for the community we've built and the people that we train because they're so loyal and they love the atmosphere we have and the coaching. I try to bring this best coaching that I can to the industry. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think we would have stayed afloat.
Yeah.
There are actually people that offered us their building for free. Wow. And we used it for free. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm going to say that's why it takes a team to win. No one does it by themselves.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Nobody. They can say you're not self-made. I promise you. Someone helped you get to that point. Mm-hmm. And whether you want to give credit or not, it doesn't matter. Like, you know deep down in your heart that people have helped you. So my buddy Steven, my wife, our friend Claudia, just many, many people, you know. And I say Claudia because her aunt actually opened up a space for us to use. And our friend Matthew. So the bind would have been there. And I was actually really, really scared at the time. Now I can remember. I'm like, what am I going to do? And I think that's when real stress started. Yeah. The start of this. At that point, what do? Mm-hmm. I had an apartment. And rent was pricey. Rent is pricey. So, jeez. Like, what is going on with the economy, you know? And so there you go. That was the last straw for me. That was my T. No names, but the old gym I trained at, just kind of, man, it was a great place to be, but I feel like there can be some more rules put in place, you know?
Oh, yeah. How did that moment ultimately shape you as an entrepreneur? And what did you learn from it?
So either you build it and you build it in a way that you can rely on it, or someone else is going to tell you how to maneuver in that area. So now that we have our own building, we do what we want. When you work somewhere else and you don't set the rules, you have to kind of do what they say, you know? And so it helped me by putting a fire under my butt. Like, if you want something ran, more professional, then build it and don't stay stuck in a place for long.
Most entrepreneurs don't have physical battles like Noel had to endure, but you would be surprised how many stories like this we keep to ourselves. Stories like Noel's that demonstrate precarious situations that entrepreneurs find themselves in that blindsided us completely and that we shouldn't have to go through alone. Today, we have learned that Noel's last straw was a second large push into the growth of his business and just how valuable his team and his loyal clients were in the process of his success. In our next episode, we wind down our time with Noel in the next to last episode of his series by exploring striking the balance of entrepreneurship when it comes to working with his wife. What did he do when the time pendulum swayed too far on the side of his business? And what was the impact on each of them? Find out in the next episode. You can find out more about Noel on Instagram. Check him out at Fitness Inspired by Noel. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast at helpi'manentrepreneur.com, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify for the opportunity to get early access to episodes and to get answers to your entrepreneurial questions from our guests and more. See you next time.